All right. Here we are. Hello, what is up, everybody? This is Vision Animation, and here I am trying to just go ahead and stream again. It's having a little bit of issues, but here I am now, and I basically think that I've finished. The comic book, so I'm gonna basically be doing some detailing in this video where I detail all of this, and I am going actually have some stuff here that's actually from my original pages. For those of you that don't know, I actually made 9 pages of this comic book that I decided to completely scrap. And now I have 1, 2, 3 pages worth of it. I'm gonna get rid of this one. I just wanted to show you guys this pretty tin here. It took me a few weeks to do. I don't know how I'm going to work it into this, but I'm gonna work it into it. And as you can see, we have some examples of wolf fairies here. So like that's an example of like how I would basically be using like racism if I decide to cover it. I doubt I will, but it's just an example of it. But yeah, so that's basically what I'm saying. But yeah, just a little example right there. And yeah, so we have all of this here. We have the nice Jala place. We have the bank system that's in a soda can. We have all kinds of stuff here. We have a bottle of purple flurp, which is a sup April Wind. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, we have all of this here, and that's basically the system of what we have here. And this is where the voting system was going to be, with her being a seamstress. This is an example of how it was going to look. With just like a room with a big spider from their perspective in it, and they just spin the thread like constantly so that they can make fabric for the fairies and they are in need. But yeah, welcome to the stream, April Wind. Alright, so... Oh, and I usually have this hidden. I was gonna have this hidden, but let's just have it now. But there's Waldo. If you've never heard of Where's Waldo, well, I don't know what to tell you. But, yeah, so... Let me just leave you to look at this amazing painting right here. And if I do finish and detail all of the comic stuff, I will go and do the animation. Alright, so be right back. I am back. Alright, is that the... Alright, that is the line going up. Sup, Ape Green, welcome to the stream. Alright, so, let's see. Yeah, let's just edit around this one. And I could just go ahead and just do this now. So I just reworked some of the dialogue, and this guy was originally the green one, but I changed that out. So let's just add this. Oh, now that ear is perfect. So that's good like that. Let's change his hair out. Because for some reason, originally, I had his hair looking like it was wet all the time. Just falling down on his face. And I don't really want that. Not anymore. Now he has the Elvis haircut. Alright, so let's just color this part in. Alright, I'm gonna need that a whole bunch later. But for now, let's just do that, and then I can do the skin color, and that would be great. Now, last stream, I got like 11 viewers to watch constantly, and for a significant amount of time, I actually got 15 viewers to watch concurrently. And that has never happened before. So, I don't know what I did to do that. And since I don't know what I did, I don't know how to recreate it, or if it's even recreatable. So, that's that. But it was a nice little time. Alright, so let me just go ahead and get rid of this. Because their arms need to be way longer. So I'll just go ahead and do that here and here. And put that here. And there we go. And let's actually fill in the word bubble so I can see like my limitations a little more. So let's go here. And by the way, there's gonna be like shadow, so there's that. Just so you know. Alright, so let's have this here. It's basically going to be covering that guy's mouth, but his mouth is irrelevant. Alright, so... Alright, so that is good like that. Let's add the white. Alright, so I need to make sure not to like click the point. That would not be ideal. Alright, so that's good like that. Good like this. Let's actually have a bit of an erase going on right here. Alright, so he flies off, flies up here. And everything should be good. Now, luckily I have like the detailed layer situation going on here. So, should be so it's very easy to just fix everything. Alright, let's go back down to people. Now that that's done, and clear it here, make sure everything's better. Alright, so that's good. That's alright. Alright, so first things first, the lower arms are a bit too short. Like maybe I mean, too long. But maybe I should like leave it like that, because this is like a more idealized look for them. But let's just do that and this. And I'll just erase this one altogether. Alright, so we have all of that right there. So let's grab this. Alright, so I'm gonna try... Actually, no, I'm gonna let this one finish out because it's not much time in that playlist. And then I'll switch it to the Outer Wild stuff. See how that be. Alright, so cut. Right, there we go. Right, so there's that. Let's add that right here. But sometimes their arms just shorten though, so I really could just leave it like this, but So there we are, just much longer arms. Should go down day near to their leg, to the bottom of their feet. For these fairies, like, they should be able to, like, scratch, like, at least the top of their foot without bending. So that's good. It's good here. And let's do that and that. And I think that's pretty good. Clear. And clear. So that's good. And I'm expanding this too, because those winds are also a bit too short. Right, so there we go. Yeah, those guys, they can remain having the same little winds. See, now the short arms are the correct length in that picture, though. Alright, so let's have the hair go kind of like this. And I think I'm going to also change the way he looks a little bit in the face department here, because he kind of has like a baby looking face. And I guess that's fine since they're fairies, but I want to change it out. Alright, so let's actually do that, and let's make it a bit bigger too. And that should be good. And I guess this could also work right here. Let me just see how that would look. Yeah, I guess it could work. And I'll just let that stay like that then. And I feel like this would be a bit too high. Alright, let's put that back. Alright, let's just fix here real quick. Went to Outer Wilds all on its own. That's great. And so there's that. Cool bendy right there. That's more like it. Let's make this lower than it usually is. So something kind of like this. I just wanted to hear that like real loud there. Excuse me. Right, so let's expand this a tad, like so. You have 15 bags of spores in your quota is over. And here's 40 bits. Yeah, that's not quite enough. And so from what I remember, he got paid a 250 bit bonus, and we add that with the bag number. So let's just go ahead and say that that's like 400 bits. So let's add a little zero to that number. This is at the time where I think I was filling it. Actually, the segments look a bit clean, so maybe not. Oh, I did. Okay. Other payday today day. Alright, so let's do that. Let's also have and I'm guessing that's in the people. Yep. Alright, and it is gone. Right, let's go change it back to the proper font. The plus your bonus. I did this for 9 whole pages, usually with 9 panels in each of them. Just filling in each and every word balloon like that. Instead of my new system, which is just put in the word bubble on a separate layer. Yeah, you do learn stuff after a while, so that's great. Alright, so this here was going to be like a flashback. So that's why the dialogue is a bit different. So, but I reworked it to not be in a flashback anymore. It happened after the event. Oh, hi Maddie Drew, welcome to the stream. Well, so yeah, it's gonna not be like a flashback anymore. So I'm going to change up the dialogue right here and change it to something more like fitting. Been busy lately. Yeah, that's fine. I have been kind of busy, but not quite as much as I usually am. So I've been able to stream more. Alright, so, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to have to... I actually did a bunch of this yesterday. I designed like a whole classroom stuff. So yeah, just all of this. Yeah, I designed it in the last stream, which was either yesterday or 2 days ago. It was one of them. But yeah, it was a nice time. Actually managed to get like a bunch of folks on that stream. I don't know how I did it, but it was lucky. I got like 15 folks. Alright, so yeah, I'm actually reworking this one. Let me just color in the hair now before I forget. Actually, no, I should change the dialogue first. Let's see. Alright, so let's see. Another day's hard work. Another day paid. And another payday today day. Forgot to have her make so many like of those weird puns in the auditing. So I'll probably go back and do it if I remember. So I'll just have to remember doing that. Alright, so alright, so let's see. So yeah, plus your bonus. Here's 400. Not a day's hard work. It's nice work. It lets me see my family often. Alright, so let's see. 50 quarters over. Then we're gonna go all the way down to Yeah, but the quote, it wasn't exactly 40. It was something like 38, but like it was something similar to that. Alright, so but let's just say it was 40 per bag with 15 bags. That would be 40. Then that would be something like well, not 100. It would be like 490. I don't think I'm thinking it right, but anyways, I was just guessing it in my head. I usually have to write it down. I suppose I could just, but like it's something around in that ballpark. So I guess I'll just change this to 80, because why not? But I'll do it properly and then get back. Because then again, I'm not even sure if the bonus is right. Because I think the bonus was something like 250. Something like that, or 200. So the bonus would actually be a whole lot higher. Alright, so not it is hard work, then it goes to that. It says nice work. Hopefully I can save the family. Maybe something like that. Alright, let's see. Here is, yeah, it is. I don't know how I saw here. Alright, but yeah, it is nice work. Lets me see my family more often. So let's do. I like the comic panel so far. I am so glad you do, Maddie Chu. I'm trying to figure out like how to tie in this dialogue. Like, even though he seems so happy, his family did just get like attacked by a praying mantis. So I should probably make him not be quite as chipper just for getting a paycheck. But then again, he does have, is getting that pay to save them, so I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, this nice work. Alright, let's see. Every little bit helps. Saved my family. I guess that could work. Alright, so let's just go ahead and erase this whole bubble right here. It's nice work. Alright, so let's do that. Every little bit helps me save my family or kids. Let's just go with family. Because it's basically the same thing. Alright, so gonna do that. And I meant to put it in the audio layer, but sure, let's just do it in this layer anyways. Alright, so yeah, hopefully. Alright, I'm gonna up the music just slightly. Just to the best I can. It would be sad if he stayed sad. He just has to keep going even if times are tough. Yeah, I agree. Alright, so I had to do this like with 9 entire pages of this comic that I then proceeded to discontinue. I am so glad that I got to salvage like 3 pages of it, and these are the 3 pages. So that's why I am reworking some of the animation, and if And for those of you that were here last stream, that's why there's so much like already completely finished artwork done here. So I'm just like reworking. Alright, so let's see. Alright, let's see. Another day. Plus your bonus. He got paid for training someone. Yeah, it is nice work. Every little bit helps. You save my family. Alright. I remember I had a cameo somewhere. Yeah, you did. It's right down here. Oh, there it is. Wondering if I should have like more like wolf people like going about too. Alright, so let me see. Alright, so we got that. We got every little bit helps. Alright, I want to change out this one because he seems a bit like a bobblehead. Alright, so. Oh, let me almost make that in the incorrect layer. Let's go down to people. Alright, so let's do that. And this, and that should be good. Awesome. Chibi style. I like it. Yeah, it is for this one right here. Like, originally, I think I just drew his head too big, but I ended up just leaving it because I liked it. But this time, I'm just gonna leave it too. This way too, so let me just do that here, this here. Like, this comic is going to be like kind of about misery, but like overcoming it, and like the lengths people will go to overcome it. So I was thinking about having some form of like bigotry in the comic, but then again, I don't know if I would be able to like do that big topic justice. So, and I don't even know if I would even want that in the comic. So I'm just deciding on it. I'm leaning heavily towards no, though. So, that's that. Alright, let me erase those right here. Let me just go ahead and do that, and that. And cut. This, cut. Alright, I don't know why that one didn't cut. Alright, so let's just do this. Let's go up to dress number 14. This here. And then I could just draw this part over. Alright, so got that there. Let's erase a little bit. Alright, excellent. Alright, so let's take this brush size back to 3. Now, I saw someone last night. I saw someone like making art with a program called Krita, and I have Krita as well, but I don't really use it as an art program. I use it as kind of like a storyboard thing. But it's not for storyboard. It's for what do you call it? It's for like scripted, because I can just re-edit the words and I can like put them elsewhere too. Should do more chibi parts. Reminds me of some anime. Yeah, that could be neat. Alright, let me put this right here. Plus, it could play into some of the comedy aspect of this comic book, because this is like a tragedy, but it's also a comedy. I'm aiming to be like Invader Zim, but like he's not trying to overthrow the world or anything. what he's going to end up doing is he's going to basically try to attack the humans in order to get their teeth. Alright, so I think that's a pretty fun aspect. Alright, so we're gonna do that, this. Alright, is there a way to like... Alright. I'll just fill in this extra part here because paint did not fill it in proper. Alright, so do that there, this here. Right, and let's just add the pink right here. Oh, I need to change the haircut a little bit. Alright, so let's just add a little pointers here too. And just this. Oh, and I was thinking, I forgot another camera, I was thinking you should have a small talk with the main. Yeah, perhaps. That could be neat. So, let's go ahead and put this here. Alright, so I have an idea to like make a banking scene where they go to the bank, where he goes to the bank and just tries to see how much money he has. I could probably make your character the banker, if anything. Alright. Actually, I did not even finish like looking at the poll because I had a poll asking like what I should stream. Yeah, still only 2 votes. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep on streaming this. We'll do that. Alright. Alright. I will be sure to like do that if I remember. Alright. Alright, I should write it down somewhere. Alright, so let me see. Got all of this right here. Alright, so got all of that here. The hair is reworked. Alright, let's do the hair part here because I keep on missing this part. Alright, good. It's filled in better now. Oh, it seems like it's just blending in. Oh, that's fine. Alright, so let's go here. Should be another part here. Just due to some laziness, I'm just gonna fill it in that way. And his eyes, they just look so messed up right here, so I'm gonna change it out. Like, they just look off. I think I'm gonna keep the irises though. Alright, so let's change this to brush tree. Alright, I'm gonna grab this and just put it all the way to here. Alright, let's do this right here. And this looked better. So that's good right now. Alright, so how are things with you, Maddie Joe? Right now, things are doing pretty well for me. Oh, a bird. I see birds fly sometimes, and I always get concerned they're gonna slam their little bird heads into the window, and that just concerns me. Does that ever happen with you? Because that is a huge concern of mine. I always see them flying, and they fly pretty close, and it just seems like they're not going to stop, and they turn at the last moment. Alright, that's just a concern of mine. Alright, so it's good like that. Alright, so that's good. This is good. And that's that. And let's just do this here. Alright, nothing needed to be altered that much this time. With this panel right here. Oh, by the way, Maddie, too, I think you said you were, like, making your own comic, like, with your OC. I just got back from art class today, so that's why I was a little late to the stream. Oh, that's cool. Did you learn anything, like, neat in art class? Alright, so we got, it really seems like there's a shadow there. Like, is there? I'm not seeing it if there's. Alright, but anyways. Yeah, maybe I'm tripping. It just looks like there's a shadow or something right there. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, so anyways, let's just keep it going. Like, some of the eye just looks darker. It happens when I move it, so I don't know if it's normal or not. By the way, this is a elderly woman. She's 60. That's old for a fairy. She's probably gonna just keel over. Alright, well, anyways. Alright, I'm gonna just go ahead and do this. And I know fairies, they usually live a long time. But not in this comic, no. They don't got the technology and they don't got the magic. So that's that. And I was going to do a comic, but I need to find a tutorial on how to make one. Also, we did photography today. Oh, that's cool. I learned everything I know about making comics from a YouTuber named Walter Ostyle or Osley. I'm not sure what it is. If you put Walter and then OS, his name should pop up because he's kind of popular, and he does like all kinds of videos on like how to make comics. So that would be a great resource on like how to learn. Now, I don't really follow every single thing that he does, but I follow enough where I'm happy with what I'm doing and the progress that I'm making. I'll look him up. Yeah, that's good. But yeah, he does a lot of good comic stuff. He hasn't posted in a while, but he already posted like all of the stuff that's necessary to know like already. So there's no need to like wait for new stuff to come out. He already got it all out, which is great. Alright, and let's put this here. There's probably a better way to make this woman look more old and decrepit, but I do not know it. I'll just add 2 more lines, because why not? Alright, so he does this, get his paycheck. Feel like the bag should be bigger than that. You know what, why not? It's 200 stuffs in there, so let's just make it nice and big. Alright, so let's change this to 4. Alright, so that's better. Is it Walter Ostyle? Yeah, I think that's him. Yeah, he has like a whole bunch of comics. I learned it from a whole lot of other places too, because I've actually long before I even thought of making this comic, and long before I even thought of making the pilot episode of the 10 that I wanted to make, I was actually thinking of making a different comic that like I never posted or even advertised. So yeah, I was thinking, and that was when I found him and learned about it. So that other comics timeline was all the way back in like 2021 or 2000 or even 2020, but like 2021 is like the date that's most likely. So yeah, that was that. And I basically gave up on that comic for the most part. Now that I was about to say more better, but that wouldn't make much sense grammatically. Now that I'm much better at making comics, I can probably take a swing at making that one, because I can make this one and rather productively. So I think that one could be a pretty fun one to do. And maybe if I ever like decide to get a Patreon, I could probably, make that one like Patreon exclusive. That could be like a fun thing to do. But I need to learn proper anatomy, because from what I see about comics and like Patreon, I always look and see like what like artists charge, and like for exclusive deals with Patreon, they want some like naughty stuff, and I have no idea how to do that, so I would have to look that up maybe. I don't think I would want to do that though, so I want to see if I can like get like a more sanitized way of making that, rather than drawing that stuff I don't really care to do. So you say I'll look at other options, but I'll look at him too. Alright, sounds good, Matty Chu. But yeah, I actually like this frame. This since I used to be an animator, I always call these panels frames, and they are frames, but they're still technically a different word, so. Excuse me. And this one is part of the comedy, with like a comically large bump swelling on his head. Excuse me. Alright, so I could actually leave his eyebrows right there. His eyebrows can just go over his head, because that would just be amusing to me. Alright, so let's see. Yeah, what's your luck on your comic, Maddie True. But if you want like a recommendation from me, like personally, I think that you should like start drawing your comic immediately. Like I remember hearing from some places that you should start with like 4 panels, which is like where this exactly. Just make 4 panels. I don't really think it's necessary to do like just 4, but you can just like make anything you're comfortable with. You don't even have to color it, and then you can just make the comics that way. Alright, so we got this here. Let's actually have the shadows come back because alright, so let's go to light and shadow. Go here. Decrease this down to 2. By the way, I am watching that show Sliders, and it is so good. And season 1 is just impeccable. Like, if any show needs to be revived, I think Sliders should. But I think it should have been revived like 4 years ago, so we could just know they don't have any of this AI nonsense going on in it. But because like since it's a scientific show, I feel like it would probably do that. Okay, so Ibis Paint X has a tin where I can make panel boxes since I use Ibis Paint. Alright, well that's cool. Oh, my back. Ooh. Okay. My back cracked so loud, I am almost certain y'all could probably hear it. But anyways, alright, let me just go and look at this. Alright, so their arms are a bit too big, too short. Alright, let me just see. I'm probably gonna let their arms just stay like that and then just do. Let me just go back to tree. And then let's see if I can just do something like that. Yeah. I'm just gonna leave them be. I don't feel like doing all that right now, if ever, to draw all that. But what I will do is I've noticed a mistake right here. So let's go down to brush 1, do this. But yeah, so much mistakes to slip by. And I checked them. I know I checked them, and just go on through still. And that reminds me. Right, so that's good, and this is good. And I think this elderly woman might be a bit too skinny. This elders, they're kind of chubby. Yeah, I'll just leave her be. Alright, so got that there. So power, it's on the head. Oh, but yeah, Maddie, so you can just like make art in that program, and since it has like an automatic comic function, could just make it in that. Also, watching your comic is helping me with ideas on how to make mine. Be using my OCs, of course. Alright, sounds good. Yeah, like the panel layout. Like, oh, one piece of advice that I always heard that I also try to follow is that the readers always read from like left to right unless it's like a manga. So always like follow the lines of the reader's eyes. So the reader would be reading it from this, then it would go here, then they would do this, and then like that. So like that's like the ideal way of doing it. So like always have the panel like go right instead of like having like this for an example. Let me make the line bigger so it's easier to see. So like have it go like this like every time. So like it's easier to like for people to like guess the next panel because they're usually gonna guess the one right next to it is the chronological one. So like never do something like this because that would just be confusing to the reader. Just as an example. Because that is like one of the pieces of advice that I try my best to follow. Just go that and like just try to make like a Z pattern every time. But then again, this is like for comics that like isn't like a scrolling comic. Now for scrolling comics, then you're gonna definitely want to make it make sense from the going down. Yeah, I have manga books. I can look at those. Yeah. So yeah, like with manga, I don't really read manga, but from that advice, I hear it's kind of like the same, but like the opposite, where you go right to left, and then like just left again. So you just keep on going that way. All right, so let's see. Did I redraw everything properly? Yeah, I believe I did. Got a nice bump here on the head. Alright, I have to rework this. Alright, so let's just go ahead and do this. I'm gonna have to repaint the sun rays because like this was when I was doing shadow work for every single inch of the comic. And goodness gracious, that was exhausting. Alright, so we got this right here. Oh, perfect. Kind of accidentally solved my own problem. Alright, so let's just do this, and then that way, the sunlight is already there, and I could just erase instead of having to redraw it. So yeah. So accidentally future-proofing for the win. Alright, so let's go to light and shadow, go here, and just do that. And let's just erase those two. Alright, now I may have to redraw because this part is different. Alright, let me look at chat real quick. Alright, I'm all caught up, which is excellent. Alright, so this is like the amount of chat that I'm used to, which is 6 folks, but like yesterday or like 2 days ago, the amount of people tripled. So that was awesome. So I think that can work. Okay. Alright, I messed that part up. Let's go to people. Alright, so let's actually erase both of the arms first. And erase this. The lengths I go to make something make sense. So let's go here. Here. And here. Alright, that is good. Let's do this. So that's good. Alright, so let's just do that and then I can go add the shadow and whatever. Like so. Oh wait, found one of my manga books. I have to see if it would help if I study that. Alright. I wish you the best of luck, Maddie Drew. If you found it already, you can probably read it while you listen to the stream. Alright, so we got this right here, and this here. Alright, I don't know how I'm gonna redo this part. Because I'm not about to redraw the whole sun. So, we're gonna go. I think that is all complete. And yeah, it is just about. This part already looked kind of messed up, so that's fine. Alright, so let's go to light and shadow. Let's get that. Let's lower the tolerance and hopefully no one will notice. Right, so that's good. Let's erase this part, because it's no longer necessary. Then I could probably just add a slight blur effect and it should be good. Okay, I looked at a few pages and I think I got an idea in my head on how it goes. Alright. Well, if you feel like sharing, you could tell me, but if you want to keep it a secret until, well, like, not a secret, but like a surprise, then I understand that as well. Alright, so we got this right here. And yeah, that's good. And then I could just blur it a bit. Alright, let's decrease the size of the brush. Yeah, I used to love Sliders back in the day. I never saw one episode when it actually came out because I didn't exist yet. But I actually found the episodes on the hub, and that the hub it had so much good content on there. So so I actually got to see Sliders again after so many years, and I am just so happy about that. All right, so got that here. Let's just erase this and erase that. So I have a friend in my art class who was making a comic book, and she gave me a YouTube channel today, so I'll look at her videos also. All right, it sounds good. To see like show herself like making the comic book on her channel, like how I'm doing now. Just wondering about it. Right, so we got this right here. Right, luckily, this guy's arms is more or less the correct size, and his ears can remain that round too. Yeah, I think him just making this hair would be fine. I'm just gonna add a bit more here. Right, so let me just go back to people. I just realized that Smash Mouth was kind of like probably the biggest band of the 2000s. And by 2000s, I mean like 2000 to 2005 or so. In my humble opinion, those were the best years humanity ever had. Because it just kept on going downhill since then. Now, if I were foolish, I would say now is rock bottom. But it's just rock bottom. It's just like a low point. It can get way worse. But hopefully, but it can also get way better. So I like to think that it can. And I hope it does. So we got that here. This is here. Sorry about that. Teeth can be slippery. I've never seen a whole pure human tooth before. Never held such a high amount of bits. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so I think I would want to have it stretch out a bit. I'm not sure. It's a high amount of bits. Well, tooth fairies get to hold them all the time. Dangerous, but you can be one. Alright, so I don't want him to go away just yet, so let's see. Probably have him just stand back and just look at him. I think I'll have it end in this way. Yeah, I'll have it end with him saying, "Tell me more about how to be a tooth fairy. Right, so we're gonna do that. Just go here. Tell me more about how I can become a tooth fairy. I need the bits to save my family. Then I could just have him say, sure, I'll explain everything. Sure, I'll give directions, could be better. Right. I love how my friend's comics are short and simple. By the way, my friend, talking to her name is Shelby. Oh, that's cool. I think in my entire life, I've never like met someone named Shelby before. Alright, so we got this right here. But I do think I've seen a Shelby in some show. I forget what the show was. Want to say it's like some kind of like, I think it was like Black Hole High, or what was the other thing? Strange Days of Blake Halsey. They're both the same show, but they have different names depending on where you watch it from. It's hard. But anyways, but yeah, I think it was on that show. There was someone named Shelby, and I think it was the main character, but I don't know. Alright, so we got this right here. Alright, so tell me more about how I can become a tooth fairy. I need the bits to save my family. Alright, so I'll just have, sure, I'll give you directions to the office. Sure. I'll give you... Probably just put it down here. Alright, so let's just do that. So I'll give you directions to the office. Alright, there we go. Then I can just move it down to... Actually, let's move it up a little bit, since... Actually, I already saw his whole outfit, so we're gonna just do it here. And I don't know if I'm gonna have the tooth fairies wear a uniform and just wear what they have. But I think it should be fine like this. Right, fun fact about her, she used to go to my school back in 2017. Now, that's almost 10 years ago. Just started seeing her again in art class. But that's cool. It's nice seeing someone again after so long. I do not remember the face of any of my classmates from 10 years ago. So I probably saw some of mine a whole bunch, and I just never witnessed them again. Alright, so and so I actually have a different type of shadow here, but I can actually use that because it's not interrupting anything here, which is great. I had to fill each and every one of these enclosed letters in back then. So I am glad I got to salvage 3 pages, possibly 4. This right here. And I think instead of ending the comic right there, I'll probably end it on this panel. I don't know. Oh, and that's great because now he doesn't have the list that his wife gave him. He has a different list that could be from that man right there. Excellent. Alright, so I love when things just work out from just like future-proofing by accident. Try to future-proof like on purpose too nowadays. And so I have my old yearbook, that's why also. Oh. I don't think I have any of my ones. Probably threw them away. Don't really have a good history with my school colleagues. They all sucked. But I'm glad that you liked your ones. My ones I hated because they were absolutely horrible. Alright, so let's change the music. I feel like a save is in order. Get a drink of water. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm trying to decide like on what exactly I want. Like here. Suppose I could just leave it be because I was thinking about like getting rid of the panel right below it and just having it end like right here with these guys. But I think I'm gonna let it be and just like have this panel here. Because goodness gracious, if you guys were like here, because I live stream making this whole thing, this whole panel right here from like 1 or 2 years ago. I want to say maybe even 3. No, definitely not 3, but definitely like 1 or 2 years ago. And I distinctly remember this one panel, which is a full screen panel, taking like, I want to say 3 weeks to make. So yeah, all of that. If anything, I'll just have the guy write it here. So let's just go ahead and zoom in on this. Alright, so let's just have and I'll just erase that part just a bit. And so let's go to tree and do this here. Alright, so Alright, let's just have him move his arm ever so slightly. Alright, so this guy has like long sleeves and short sleeve combo shirt. Never really noticed it at the time. Alright, so let's just have the paper go kind of like this, then like this, then just this is like the coal within it. And they just use like coal or charcoal to write stuff down. Alright, so now I just have to take it, reverse this guy. So I'll just take the easy route. Just do that and exit. And so we got that too, this here. Alright, so I think that is fine for that right here. Alright, so I have all of that right here. Alright, so we have all of this right here. And I think this song might be making me a tad sleepy. So I'm just gonna go ahead and skip it. That was a long song, wasn't it? But Alright, so that should be good. Plus, I like the movements that I can do in this art program. That's why I don't. That's one of the reasons I don't use Critter. There's only two reasons, but those two reasons are big ones. Is maneuverability. I can easily move like this with my mouse button, mouse wheel, going up and down and all around, zooming in, zooming out. And then I could just like do this where I can just fill it in and it doesn't like instantly start a new tool, like acting as if pressure sensitivity is a thing. With this one, you just line it up, color, and boom, you're done. It's just much better to me. Alright, so that's why I like it. Alright, so let's go ahead and I filled those in already, so let's just go and do some of this. And I actually like how that bit looks, so I'm gonna just keep it that way. This one has a missing tool. Alright, so all of that seems to be good and in order. Alright, let's get rid of people for right now. Alright, here's the issue. Didn't do this part. Alright, so got all of that. I'm guessing this is part of this one here. Yep, it is. Blurred it by 5 and basically fixed the entire thing. Which is great. There we go. Right. Now I'm at light and shadow. Everything looks more acceptable now. Let's have. Oh, I already read that. Okay. My eyes are getting sleepy. And so, looking back, I think I got all of the tins. Alright, so let me change this out. Alright, there we go. Alright, so let's do a quick read of this book. So this is all gonna happen like right after the events of this book. So right after the teacher hugged the student. Hello, invasion in chat. Howdy, Connie Cabot. Welcome to the stream. Right now, I'm making my comic book. Did this last time, and I did this today. So right now, this is later that day. Okay, I'm heading out by Scabious. Scabious is the name of that green guy right there. Hope everyone is doing well. I am doing good. I think Maddie Chu is doing good too. Alright, so bye Lavender. See you tomorrow. Yeah, there was a outline here. I don't know why I had it. I need to get rid of that. Alright, so I'm glad I went back and looked. That's why you always gotta go back and like look at whatever it is you're doing. Otherwise, something that wouldn't make sense will pop up. And so, and I don't know what that could have even been. Right, so
my time has come to burn. I invoke the
I'm gonna let the music play, but I'm just gonna skip him. I'm gonna lower this ever so slightly. By the way, this music that's playing now is made by someone named Karu. He makes some good music. I like your art. It reminds me of classic Zelda CDI. Oh, thank you, Connie. I'm glad you like it. Alright, so right now I'm doing this. Yeah, I don't know why it looks so different. See, I copied this over. You know what? It's fine. This is just a little texture going on there. That's fine, and let me just go ahead and fix this part with the people. So that's good, that's good. Alright, let's also change this guy's mount out, because that is what I was gonna do. Yeah, again, thank you for comparing me to Zelda. That's in his classic. That game. Alright, so let's just do that. Get the mount going here for the color. That reminds me, I need to do the lights here as well. It should be difficult to line up, but shouldn't be too much of an issue. Alright, so let's just do that, and this should do it. Alright, before I do that, let me just go ahead and get a light for right here. Oh, that cuts into there. Alright, well, I'll just get rid of it and put this here. Alright, so about right there should do it. Now the lights and shadows makes it look so lovely. Thank you. This one, like, is one of the comics that took me a long time to make back in the day. Alright, so I need to do my best to, like, line up the shadows. I don't think I'm doing it very well. Alright, so right here is about where it would be. Yeah. I think I'll probably just make it from scratch. Alright, so let's just do this. Let's copy the lights here. Alright, so let's just do that and cut that. And cut that. Alright, so first things first, let's get proper rectangle with a fill tool like so. Why did it come out this color? It's supposed to be dark. Alright, so let's do that. But yeah, I'm so glad that you like it. Alright, so Alright, so got that right there, and this is the nice amount of dark that I was looking for. So let's actually get rid of all the dark right there and get a gradient going so that I can do this. So just do this here. And I'm pretty sure there was... Alright, luckily they weren't affected there too, so that should give me enough leeway to make that guy's head glow by accident. Alright, but anyways. Yeah, the shadows makes it look much different. I want to stay more, but it's my bedtime now. Good luck with the comic invasion. Thank you, Connie. Hope you have great dreams. Alright, so bye, Connie. Alright, so it is going quite well so far. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's also... I think I'm going to make a nice little blur. Gonna make this slightly brighter. Just blur it together. In fact, I'll just do it in this layer because I'm not sure what I have layer 17 here for. Whatever it is, it's probably nothing much. So, oh, incorrect part. Let's go here. Alright, so let's just see how this would look. Just keep going till that's erased, and there we go. Alright, so let's go back to layer 17 so I can see where it would be. Right. So I think I would need like a slight amount of white there, but I think I could just get away with erasing it. So we're gonna keep it going. I'm back. I'm gonna try my best at making the comic. My first short panel will be only 3 panels as a test. Alright, sounds good. Alright, so let's go here and do this.
Oh, I'm so bored. These games are starting to feel like chores. But some triangle guy came up with a new game he found.
And I skipped him. But yeah, Sliders is kind of like Rick and Morty if Rick and Morty was smart. Like, I remember it was like a 10 going around where you need to be a genius to understand like Rick and Morty humor. But in my opinion, that show is just dumb. I like it, but it's dumb. So like, Sliders, you don't really need to be a genius to enjoy Sliders too, but it's way more of like a sophisticated sitcom. At least for the first season. Now, I know for a fact that it begins to go downhill, but it is a fun time while it lasts. Alright, so let's go ahead and just do this and have... Actually, I'll have a blur effect going on here. So let's do a blur. Let's do a slight one so it's like that, and that should work out. Alright. The lines are more straight with that, but I think that's fine. Alright, so we're gonna do that here, and then I'm going to go back up to the lights and shadows and get a nice big brush going on. 50 should do the trick. Just erase. Right, that also adds into like the hardness of it, but it works nicely, so we're gonna keep it going. But yeah, be sure to like post your comic when you're done, Maddie True. Since like at least from what I can tell, posts don't seem to go out to everyone, I think you should make your comic into a video form as well. And that reminds me, I need to also make some of my comic updates into video forms, because there was someone in my comments that wanted me to like do a video of the comic so he could watch it here. What the? I know I forgot something. Right. Due to laziness, I'm just gonna have it go here. Here we go. This one's just gonna be a special one. Alright, let's raise the opacity to just 50. Could have sworn I got all of them, but I guess not. Alright, so that's good. Just gonna do it. Be a test comic panel. And I plan something, but if anyone likes it, I might continue it. Who knows? And for me, I made like 9 pages worth of a comic before I even like posted it anywhere. But that was just like to have a buffer so that I can like go posting it weekly without having to worry too much. But oh, there's one thing I also forgot to do. And I need to have this in layer 17, because there's also yet another mushroom here. Now I could just like have the tin affect them like this, but I'm not gonna do all that. Alright, so let's just do that. Paste this here. But yeah, I remember one of the advice that I got was to like I got that like a whole bunch of places, is to like make sure that you really love making comics, because like it's a game where like where it's gonna take a while to like get a reader base. Like for me, I really enjoy making this comic. And I do want folks to read it, but I've made so much of it where I don't really mind that like not too many people do. For me, I think I just have like 8 readers. I can't say if they're common readers or not, but it is the case for me that like it's really don't really have like a lot of people compared to what like other comic creators on like Webtoon would have. So I'm just like letting you know that too, just so you know what you're getting into. But there is a guy on YouTube that like posts his comics on it, and he does get like a lot of viewers, which is great. So like that's what I'm saying is like posting it on a webcomic platform, it would just be a bit, it's unlikely to like get too many readers immediately, because I posted like 5 episodes now and I didn't really get many readers. So that's just what I'm saying. Alright, so let me just go ahead and put this here, and I'm also gonna blur it. And I remember also, there's one thing that I need to do. I need to blur this first of all. But yeah, I'm not saying like anything to discourage you. I'm just saying to like make sure that you should like post a whole bunch of episodes too. And that's what I'm like mean to say. Alright, so anyways, let me go ahead and put this here. And I'm actually going to extend this a bit. Actually, no, I'm going to let it be. Alright, so we're going to do that. And then I'm going to go to light and shadow and erase a bunch of this. And I guess I should probably... Actually, no, I'm not going to... like go around Scabious, I think his name was. Just gonna have the below get him. Alright, so that's looking good. And I'll just do a little bit of slight erasing right here. Alright, so here we are. Got everything going on for us right here. And just a slight amount of this here should do it. But one other thing about Webtoon that's so annoying is the censorship. Like, I already put in the comic that there's going to be violence in it, and yet, when I post the violence, they take down the episode. So I don't know what that's about. So that's also another thing that you need to like keep in mind. Like, when it comes to platforms like Webtoons, for example, they just take stuff down for no reason sometimes. So I recommend a platform called Newgrounds, because I haven't gotten any of it taken down yet, and I've had like plenty of violent stuff. So that means like you can have like anything you want there, and that's just really good. Plus you could specify which episode is going to be more violent and which one isn't. So you can like farm more of like a curated audience on Newgrounds. So yeah, that's a good extra tip right there. Alright, so we got all of this. We have this here. We have everyone going here. They're still not proportionate exactly, but it's good enough. Excuse me. Alright, so we have this. We have the toot, and that toot looks fine enough. So, yeah. Well, Tooth Fairies get to hold them all the time. Dangerous, but you can be one. Tell me more about how I become a Tooth Fairy and need the bits to save my family. Yeah, it does make sense that like he should know what a Tooth Fairy is already, because like it's a famous occupation. Basically like their version of an astronaut. so that's good right there. This right here. Alright, so my teeth is hurting me a little bit. So hopefully it gets better so I can continue talking. There's a squirrel twerking. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, it's so cute. I don't know why they are showing that, but that's neat. It's an actual squirrel too. If you want to know what I'm doing for my test comment, I'm doing a fun little one. OC and Caramel if they did a Pokemon battle. Alright, that sounds good. Well, I can't wait to check it out, Manichu. So we got this. And I think everything is complete and done for this panel here. So let me just hit save. I guess I'll just depend on like the page count of anything. Because this is 4. Alright, so we got 4. Over here is 23. 23 plus 4, that would be 27. Let me double check the math. Yeah, that's correct. So 27, then we got the title, card. So that should equal about 28. So we are good. Excuse me. So I think everything here is done. And let me just go, and I thought I would need that extra space a little more. Turns out I did not. So I'm just gonna go all the way down to here and crop that down. Alright, so whoa. Okay. So we got this going on right here. Alright, so yeah, I think that basically everything. Let's actually get rid of the storyboard. Alright. A storyboard did nothing at all. Alright, but anyways. Alright, let's just add a little bit of blue right here. Because the yellow, it didn't really do all that much, so I think just some blue and then a bit of yellow will do nicely. That's better. Okay. Let's go to lights and shadows because I feel like that too should have a shadow. Let's just see that. Why is it dark? Maybe it overshadows. Overshadow is the 10 here. And overshadow. Alright, so let's go ahead and go here. And see with Critter, it's not one continuous color. It's just, it would just like go, and after, if I linger a few seconds in one spot, it would just go and like just make the opacity basically 100%, and then I can no longer use that correct color. And there's probably a setting to prevent that, but I haven't found it. And this works pretty well where I don't really need to find it. Alright, but I think this shadow is really helping the tooth out immensely. Just adding in like a little bit of that to the tooth. So that is good like that. Let's erase this extra point right here. And now that tooth looks much better. And while I'm at it, let's also do this to make it all mossy and stuff. Alright, so let's go to backgrounds and just do this. Alright, so that's good. Still adding detail after all these years. Alright, so that's fine, that's fine. Alright, all of that's fine. So have all of that going on here. Got a Chloe cameo. Also got a me cameo for my character. Ought to have a Caleb cameo. Actually, he does have a cameo. And it's right up, right there. Yeah, he is right there. I changed their color though. Maybe I should put their color to the way it ought to be. Yeah, let's change it. Alright, let's get this for Caleb's color. This for Chloe's color. Alright, this classroom is gonna get another yellow fairy. Okay. Something went badly there. So we're just gonna go ahead and do that. So there we go. I'm back. Gonna be out of time relatively soon. So, let's see. If my audience talked a bit more, I would have asked them like what I should write down to like have like on the walls, because these folks, they work inside of a place where the building happens to be a book about a woman falling in love with a werewolf. So I think it would be funny to like have walls that just have like that all over the place. So yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so got the people stuff here. Let's go color in the antennas. Well, I suppose it doesn't matter if that antenna gets covered there, but I'll just color it in anyway. Let's get that. And lastly, let's get these two. And this guy, he needs his antennas right now. So let's just do this here. Let's put that to trade. Let's check this out. If you are wondering, the reason why this teacher is hugging her student is because he gave her the coupon that he just received for 10% off of the hospital visit. And yes, in this world the hospitals do give out coupons to schools. So yeah. Now you would think, oh, isn't that a nice thing the hospital's doing? Oh, here's the thing. The coupon only lasts a month. They're trying to encourage people to get injured so that they can like increase the numbers at their hospital. Alright, so honestly, I'm surprised it's not a 10 in real life, but I haven't looked it up. It might be. Alright, so alright, he shouldn't have wind, so I don't know why I put that extra bit there, but yeah. Alright, so I can just do some of the stuff for the building. So let's go to buildings right here. Actually, I can just make that the background because that would be more effective. So let's just have the seat begin here. Alright, let's get the proper colors going on. And let's go ahead and just copy this. So let's just do that and that. Right, so that was a rather simple thing to do. And I don't know if I can consider this like complete in anything, but it is more efficient now. Right, so let's just do that. So that's good. Alright, so let's get some of the cards I've done. Last stream I did these cards, so let's just have him standing with the Queen and the Joker. So let's just zoom in. Alright, that image is a bit loud, so we're gonna just shift it on to this one. Alright, this is better. I feel like it should probably have a slight blur to it. Then it looks like he's just standing on nothing, so I don't know. Alright, so just leave that like that and hopefully it's fine. Alright, so got this going on right here. We got this going on right here. Right here. Alright, so let's get another bit going. So let's just move that over to here. Yeah, this placement of the cards works much better. Right. And so that's good card placement. So got my comic sketches out, the comic. I might take a break and maybe live stream the rest of it, maybe later, today or tomorrow, before youth group. Maybe, if not probably after youth group. Alright. Do you think like youth group like might let you stream it there? Or what am I saying? Well, I don't know if phones can stream nowadays. I don't really know much about that kind of stuff. It's probably best to just do it when you get back. Alright, so let's see. I need to get the paper for skip. Skip a little bit. Just a little more. Alright, that's more like it. Alright, so, let's see. Alright, so for the background, want this. You know, I think the background works for all of them. So I'm just gonna have the background be here too. Yeah, I need to figure out like some words that I can put on the wall. Or I could just go with a Time Limited Classic and just have some scribbles. That's what I have here. It's not actual words. I tried to put actual words, but I decided not to. Alright, so I think this is in building. Yep, it is. Go to buildings and just get rid of this part right here. So let's just do that one toot for him. And then let's just erase this part too. Alright, so all I need to do Amphibia was such a great show. I'm so glad I haven't been having any, probably gonna jinx it, but used to have like crashes every hour or so when I streamed, so I couldn't really stream anywhere near as often. And hopefully that looks like tears enough. if it would be weird. Probably not. Gonna let this one keep playing even though it has voices in it, since I'm not really talking right now.
We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you do, always do. Till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away. So will you please say hello to the folks that I know? Tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was screaming this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. From the bloody talk to casting magic with just some chalk. Oh, come on now, what is next day? Talking rock. In your journey you met good friends and a new pet. Wherever you may go, you fought a hive mind AI, a very angry old slime, and a talking Dorito.
Hey!
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight to our show. We're glad we got to spend some time with you all, from the frogs to the demons and those witches at the back. Let's run that one more time, yeah? All right, folks.
So how about that? A big finale, the best for last. So we hope that you've enjoyed and had a blast. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know where.
I think I'm gonna expand that word bubble so I don't have to. Actually, yeah, I could just do this.
Farewell, my good friends, thanks for the best of days. I hope we meet again sometime, someday. I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
So just need to like make the flooring for this, and maybe the writings on the wall, and I am basically complete. So basically erased all of the unnecessary parts. Alright, so think this was the. I figured we probably would have looped back around already, but I think this is the one that I started out with. Yeah, it is. Alright. This guy is so nice. I'm just gonna have this over there. There we go. Added the word bubbles. Alright, let's make all of this slightly lighter. I was thinking how I could go about doing that. So just do this. So, yeah, I don't see how that could just make the acorns go, so I'll just have it so that the students are just stepping out like that. And so basically got the background complete. Don't really need that. I think I made the eyes lighter before at some point, but it seems to be this way now. I like right here, I'm pretty sure. So here's this guy's eye. Go down to people. And yeah, I knew it was lighter. That just seemed a little too dark. Alright, let's just see how this would look here. And yeah, it blends out of the background a little more because it just looks like it was the same background image and their eyes were invisible. Alright, so I'm gonna leave that one be. I have no clue how that even came to be, but it's being fixed now. I'm just gonna brighten the colors for this one and leave the fire one dark. So, yeah, basically everything's done there. Alright, so I'm gonna go now. So, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button and subscribe because I do stuff like this randomly. Alright, share this with your friends and comment down below. And until next time, because I'm basically done, there's not really much to do. I'll see if I can figure out how to do the floor tin a little better, like here or something. I spent so much time making that floor design and I didn't even use it, but I will use it later. Alright, until next time, this is